Hello, my name is Jerry McEwen. This is my Unit 3 speech on patterns for outlines for your speeches. Now we're going to go through 6 major patterns today that we're going to cover on ways that you can outline your speech. First, let's go through topical patterns. Topical patterns are used to divide topics into subdivisions. Secondly, let's go through temporal patterns. Temporal patterns actually organizes 2 to 4 major parts. What you want to do is start with the past and lead up to the future, or vice versa. You can start with the present or future and work back towards your past. This is the best pattern for storytelling. Thirdly, let's go through spatial pattern. Spatial patterns are used to organize points on the basis of space. Description of objects or places. Usually with that you want to progress from top to down to bottom, north to south, east to west. Next, let's go through problem solution patterns. Problem solution patterns, what you want to do, you want to convince the audience that there is a problem and that you are the solution. Firstly, you want to identify the problem, break down that problem, and explain the best way to solve that problem. Next, let's go through, we have the cause and effect pattern. Now what this does, it connects two existing elements. First, you want to place the effects first and then discuss the causes. Lastly, let's go through motivated sequence pattern. This is designed to move an audience into action. Now there's 5 major steps for this outline. First, of the audience, you want to get their attention. Second, you need to fill a need. Thirdly, you need to get satisfaction. Fourthly, visualization. And fifth, an action. Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go through some examples of each pattern and how they get broken down. First, what we're going to do, we're going to relate all these to military. Firstly, we want to go through topical patterns. Now, examples military-wise for a speech on topical patterns, a good outline would be for the Marine Corps. It gets broken down in subdivisions, and how we could start that, we could start that with a battalion of Marines. And how we can break that battalion down is into companies. Typically 3 companies per battalion of Marines. Now through each company it get broken down into platoons. And typically there's 3 platoons per each company. And then through each platoon you have a squad of men. Next, for military, let's go through temporal patterns. Temporal patterns is great for storytelling, like I had mentioned earlier. And I think military-wise, talking stories, you can always talk about war and everything else. But if you want to talk about your story and what the military has done for you, I think the best way to describe it and break it down is from civilian life and the adjustments you've had to make and overcome through your military career. Okay, thirdly, let's go through spatial pattern. Spatial pattern is a description of objects or formations. I think formation-wise for the military, a good way to explain this through the Marine Corps at least, would be patrolling formations. You have 4 major patrolling formations. You have a wedge formation that's V-shaped, and you have a point man to lead the formation. Secondly, you have echelon left and echelon right. Echelon left has a staggered amount of men or squad on the left-hand side patrolling the left hand of the field. Echelon right is vice versa. Men are staggered on the right-hand side and patrolling the right side of the field. And lastly, you have a line formation, which is a straight line across, everyone on line moving forward at the same speed. Okay, next let's go through problem solution patterns. A good one for this, I think, would be our problem would be our war on terrorism. And I think a good problem solution would be to break down and what the military will do to defeat its enemy and hopefully one day end the war. Lastly, let's go through cause and effect patterns. Cause, I think the best way to describe this through a military sense would be, the cause would be the terrorism that we've endured as a nation. And of course, the effect would be the war we have right now in Iraq and Afghanistan. And hopefully that's the last nation that we actually have our war on. Thank you. That's a breakdown of all the different patterns and examples within the military of ways to outline those patterns. Once again, thank you very much, and have a good day.